Hi, my name is Agnes Maina. Welcome to my masterclass on beadwork. I'm a professional jewelry designer. I was born and raised in Nairobi. I started my primary school at an early age of 7 years. I went up to my O levels. Then I proceeded to do a course on fabric design, of which later I changed my profession to beadwork, because our beadwork is being forgotten a lot in Africa. While I was in college doing my fashion and design on fabrics, I met a lady who introduced me to beadwork. So I did not proceed with my fashion design. I switched on to beadwork. We started collecting beads from all over Africa. We have a variety of beads in Africa, all over Africa. I started collecting my beads through other designers who used to bring beadwork to Kenya. The first beads that we started were the Maasai beads, the Samburu and the Turkana. Then we proceeded to Ethiopia with their famous amber and Coptic crosses. And then we went to West Africa. We started collecting beads from West Africa. They have a lot of variety of trade beads. We have different types of beads. We have the original beads, of which we call the trade beads, and then we have the modern beads that people have started creating. If you want the original beads, you have to go to Samburu, you have to go to Turkana, you have to go to the Maasai land, even though we have some shops in Nairobi that are selling those beads. Then we have the new beads, like the famous Kitengela glass beads. They recycle glass and make very beautiful beads. From there we go to Kazuri. Kazuri, they make beads out of clay and then decorate them. At the moment we have a very big challenge with our beads. Before we used to trade our beads with the Samburu, Pokot, and Turkana women, whereby they never used to have clothes. Most of their body they used to cover with the beads, like the ostrich shell, the Turkana. Right now we have a scarcity because people overuse the beads. So we had to come up with new ideas of bringing the the clay beads and the glass beads. Well, when I started designing jewelry, I started with the Maasai beads. I later on proceeded to the amber, silver, and Ethiopian crosses. That is when I decided to be more creative and started venturing into the Samburu, the Giriama, the Pokot beads. After that, I got a supplier from West Africa who started bringing for me beads. So I usually mix all the African beads to make any design of jewelry. You have to be very, very creative in the part of jewelry so as to come up with beautiful pieces. While you are making jewelry, there are different types of tools that you need. I'm going to show you a few samples of what you can use. We have the flat nose that we usually use when clasping the necklace. We have the cutter. The cutter is to cut our wire and our threads. Then we have the round nose. This is what we make our rings and hooks from. Other tools that you usually use is the cotton wax. You have to buy a cotton thread and wax to accompany it to make the thread firm, and then we have the needle. And then we have other thread that we call the tiger tail. This is when you want a firm necklace. We also have the fishing line that we usually use when making our ostrich necklaces. To make bracelets, we usually use an elastic thread that you get from the bead shops. To start with, I told you I started with the Maasai beads. This is the famous Maasai necklace and the Maasai bracelet. It is very common these days. So we take the beads and modify them into something simple but beautiful. We usually use brass and weed called terracotta to make beautiful Maasai necklaces. Then we have the ostrich shell. This is made from the ostrich bead, from the ostrich egg. It is carved by the Turkana women in Pokot to make beads that used to be worn as bras and a skirt. We then proceed to the Turkana beads. This is the famous Turkana bead. They come in different colors and shades. Then we have this is from West Africa. It's called the coconut bead. Very colorful and beautiful and very strong. It makes very beautiful necklaces. It is accompanied by the bone that comes from Kibra to make jewelry. You have to combine your beautiful beads to come out with a beautiful necklace. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to make a ring and a hook. We need a round nose, a cutter, and the wire. You have to make a ring. Mostly we use a ring that is 720 clockwise. After the 720, you cut it and you get a double ring. Same applies to the other side. You make a 720, cut, and you have your rings. One is for the beginning, the other one is for the end. After that, we need a hook to close our necklace. This is where we come. Just make a straight line, fold it. That's where our round flat nose comes. You flatten it. Make a small curve, then cut at the end so that they can be balanced like this. Then you take the hook, make a 360, turn it a bit, then you go to the middle and you make a 180. There is your hook. You later on take the hook, clasp it onto one side of the ring for closure. So we have a hook and two rings to start a necklace and to end a necklace. I am going to show you a sample how to make a simple Turkana necklaces. For that, we need a needle, We need a thread and wax. And remember our hook. First, you remove the wool according to the size you want. Use the cutter to cut the thread. And then put it in the needle. After that, we need our wax to strengthen the cotton wool and make it firm so that it won't break. You rub it through once, twice, and thrice. It's firm and strong. You take the Turkana beads and the giriama. The giriama are the separators. You first take your hook, fold it into two at the far end, and place your hook. Tie a knot once and twice. The far end where the knot was, you cut it with the cutter. And that is how you start your necklace. First, we start with the giriama, two, and put them in the end. Then we proceed to the Turkana bead. You put it to the end. From there, you're going to break one bead, one giriama bead, one Turkana bead 5 times, so that you can balance the necklace and put a beautiful break in the necklace. That is one. You do 5 times of this so that you can put our pendant in the middle. I'm going to work a bead first. One bead you place with you put a gray shade to break the dullness in the giriam. And the Turkana dark blue bead. Remember, you have to keep on counting your beads so that one part might not be longer than the other side. And you have to make sure your beads are even. We are at number 4, heading to number 5. Make sure you keep on counting for our necklace to be even. One, two, three, four, 5. We are at number 5. This is a short necklace for somebody small. When we reach here, you put 2 giriamas and then put our pendant. You have to work your way upwards. We were going down, now we are going up. You make sure you count 5 beads, put a break, 5. The most important thing is to keep on counting your beads and making sure the necklace is even. In the end, you put 2 giriamas as we started in the beginning. Our necklace is even. I've made a short one. This is for somebody small. You cut your thread. Look for the other ring, the other half that we made, and slide one side open and then tie a knot. You tie it once, turn it over, and make another knot twice. The wax makes it hold, and then you cut. That is our final product on that Turkana necklace, modified with the Sorotea from West Africa. The next necklace I'm going to show you is the ostrich shell necklace. For this one, you need the fishing line. We prefer the small number of fishing line, that is number 30, so that it can somehow stay invisible when you're finishing your necklaces, because you have to work it crisscross on the beads. You cut your fishing line according to the size you want. Always remember to begin with the bead, with the hook, sorry, the ring of the hook. First, you put 2, 3, or 4 beads. You push them to the end. You take your ostrich shell, split the fishing line, put it on one side, turn the other side, and push the other side. Then you pull your ostrich shell. That way it stands straight on a flat line. You put 2 more beads with both fishing lines together. Split them. One side, turn it, put the other side. You work like that until you get to the end. Split the fishing line, one side, turn the other side. Push it to the end. That's how it's supposed to be. You work on until the end. Make sure the ends are equal so as to get an even pattern. a beautiful ostrich necklace. You have to crisscross the beads, the ostrich shell, so that you can have a fine straight line. After making a couple of designs as to your desire, there comes the challenge of marketing. That is where all the trick is. For me, I started with the Maasai market, the common Maasai market. That is where I started selling my wares. I later on moved on to the pop-ups markets and exhibitions. The youth of today are very lucky because you have a lot you can sell your wares around. We have the social media, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have website where you put your things. So I think those are the best places to go. And when you get the pop-up markets, you should visit them. They are all over, abroad and in Africa. My stall is at the Gigiri Courtyard at Gigiri Lane. That is where I have a stall. You can come if you need any advice on how to make your jewelry or to show you how to make more. Thank you for watching this masterclass. I have been your host, Agnes Muthoni Maina.